All right, there we are. We're live. Episode 18 of Paper and Plastic. I'm your host, Pop and Sloth. This is my good friend, Dr. Plagus, and we're joined with a special guest today, our good friend, 9PanelGrid. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. We got a chance to chat a little bit backstage here, and I was telling you guys it's been an awesome day, man. And this is a perfect end cap to be able to hang out with you guys here Tuesday evening, talking comics, right? Like, is there a better place to be?
Nope. It's where I am every Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah. The episodes are flying, man. I mean, it still literally feels like yesterday we just started this, and like you and Nick and Fable have all said many times, before you know it, you'll be at 100, and yeah, we're just flying through. But yeah, it's great to have you on. I feel like I talk about you, I reference you, or shout you out every single episode. So
Trust me, I appreciate it.
yeah, it's only fitting that we got you on now. So yeah,
it's gonna be a great time. I can't wait.
And for those who may not be familiar with your stuff, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and where we can find you?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. My name's Eric. I have a YouTube channel called 9PanelGrid where I go over all the geeky stuff that comes along with comic books, mostly reviews. I just premiered actually a new show that I'm going to be doing weekly, starting today. Actually, going over kind of like the weekly news that's come out in the comic book cycle that happens here, kind of going over kind of like a comic haul kind of thing, like what books I'm going to be reviewing for the following week and what top variants are going to be coming out that I'm really looking forward to. Other than that, you can check me out kind of ping-ponging between my channel, 9PanelGrid, and Dr. Doom's Fan Club. We got an awesome live show that we do called Ink and Insights. Same kind of stuff, it's just a live show, more community-based, where we get to chat with the people that are, actually watching live. But we have a good time talking comics. Tomorrow is going to be a great time because we're breaking down the Eisner nominations and we're telling them maybe where they took some missteps there. So it's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, thanks again for joining us. And I think, Doc, did you have a few things you wanted to share right off the top?
I can't remember. What was it?
I don't know. We can go straight into what we've picked up over
Okay,
the
well,
week.
I was just gonna say, I really love the Ink and Insights show. So everybody should also find Dr. Doom's Fan Club, Stu, because I know you guys kind of alternate channels for that live, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't catch you guys live every time, but I always watch the replays. Yeah, support everything you guys do, and that's yeah, I must have missed the announcement or whatever about your new episode, or but yeah, I'll have to check that out too. It's the work week is a hard time for me to keep up with what everybody's doing, so I usually catch everything on the weekend. But
yeah, and it's very new. I don't blame you. It's still crispy 9-point dates. By tomorrow it might be dropped. It has a couple smudges, some spine ticks on there, but right now it's still very crisp.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so you want to jump into hauls first?
I've just got like a ton of stuff sitting in front of me that I'm really excited to share, and I'm sure you guys might have a few things too. So I'm really excited.
All right. Well, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. First of all, Eric was telling us why today was such a great day. So why don't you let everybody else know why today's been such a great day? Because I think it's pretty incredible, actually. So.
Yeah, so I was just talking right before I hopped on the show here, me, Nick, and Stu, the Ink and Insights crew, right? We've been kind of waiting on bated breath to find out whether or not we were going to be accepted for press passes for Heroes Con. I feel like everyone that's going to Heroes Con talks about Heroes Con ad nauseum, so I'm sorry, I'm one of those people now as well, right? But it's exciting. I can't believe that this fledgling YouTuber actually got accepted into the program. So like, it's kind of awesome. It kind of like legitimizes like all of the things that we've been trying to do and working towards. So yeah, we're kind of excited, like a lot.
Yeah, that's great. I actually was supposed to be going to Heroes Con this year, because a lot of the East Coast YouTube guys, like Lunch Money Comics, a whole bunch of other dudes, that's where they're doing their big meetup this year, and
Yep.
we all got together last year in Portland, and so kind of became a part of that
Yeah.
friend group, and was supposed to go, but then unexpectedly had a trip to Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and so I kind of had to put my money towards that. So
I was gonna say I heard a little bit about that.
yeah, it was a really it was partly for business, which was really great for business. But then we spent like an entire day hunting comics, so it was a lot of fun. I'm not too bummed about Heroes. That'll always be there.
Yeah.
So grateful for the other opportunity. But yeah, now we could go ahead and jump into halls. I guess I can go first. You guys, Sloth, you sound like you got a lot of stuff, and Eric has something really great. It sounds like so. First things first, I want to rip my Battle Beast packs because
Oh,
I got them yesterday, and it's been killing me sitting on these. Because something we're gonna get into later. Um, Not surprisingly, my LCS, not only did they not get any of the packs, but they did not order a single copy of cover A. I mean, nothing. Just the biggest, I don't even want to say it's their biggest fumble. It's their biggest fumble of the year, probably. But like last year, not a single copy of Absolute Batman was ordered. Not number one.
I mean, what? Like, do you run a comic shop? Like, I mean, like, how do you miss that?
Yeah, and I don't want this to be a trash fest of my LCS because they have a lot of great qualities. The person that does the ordering, they've been doing it for a really long time, and maybe they're just not, they don't care as much these days. I don't know what it is. We'll dive deeper into that later on. But right now, let's get into some of this.
So while you're opening that, I'll quickly just share. I bought one. I ripped it in the store with the owners of the shop. I got the A cover. So that was a nice
Really?
little extra little. I don't know what that was to top off my day the last week, but yeah, I got the A cover out of the blind bag.
Wow.
Came back the next day, and then the shop owner showed me what he pulled, and it was that ultra rare foil issue 2 pre-release.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like I pre-ordered. You could have just put that one in my bin instead. That would have been
Yeah.
sweet. But
Well, I do have to shout out Comics Place up in Bellingham, Washington, which is where I've been doing my ordering of all the books that I miss out on. They get a large amount of everything, so I'm always able to fill in the issues that I didn't get. I ordered 2 cover A's, one for me and one for my business partner. Um, and they actually reached out to me and said they were sold out of their cover A. Would I like 2 of the mystery packs? And I was just like, is that even a question? I didn't even look on their website for the mystery packs because I figured those would have been sold out. So, anyways, I got this ripped. I don't know how this is coming out of here. I think this might be the cover. Is it blank?
We sure see it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sketch cover. That's cool. I just want to
Okay.
read it. So
I was gonna say that's gonna be a great sketch. Whatever you get on there, you gotta get something.
Yeah.
be cool to get some Ron Lim.
Yeah, the world is your oyster with a sketch cover. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's the same thing here. No way. Okay.
Double your
Cool.
pleasure.
Well, there's that.
There you go. There you go.
All right. All right. So I'll get into some haulage. Well, that works out perfectly because I got to give one to my business partner. So, anyways, I was talking about my LCS, and one of their qualities is just back issues and the treasures that you can find there. Um, I was there on Saturday, kind of looking at their huge wall of trade paperbacks, and I found a couple of gems. I found the trade paperback of Godland by Tom Scioli. Just some real, Jack Kirby tribute. He's famously like Jack Kirby's biggest fan. Um, but this copy might have been on their shelf since 2007. I mean, it's
Wow.
like it's really minty, and that's when this was printed. Um, and I don't know where it would have come from, other than they got it in when it came out. Kind of staying on that same thing. Girl Scouts trade
Yes.
paperback. This is the original trade paperback print from 2004. And again, I'm pretty sure 2003.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure this has been on the shelf since then. It's a massive wall of trade paperbacks, and seriously, every time I look at it, like I'm finding something I've never, or many things I've never seen before. So, um, I was really happy with those finds. And then jumping over to the new comic book shop we got in town, which is just the best place ever. Um, I had some credit with him because we're actually going to be producing his business sign. Sloth, are you good? He's going into the Matrix.
I was gonna say he looks incredibly happy right now.
Yeah. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's going on? Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Sorry about this. Um, he had a copy of issue one, Violator, with Bart Sears' autograph on it. So I picked that up. My copy of this I have double signed by Bagley and Emberlin. So I wanted to kind of get myself a non-signed
Ooh.
copy, and it's got a little bit of water damage, so it's a good reader copy, a nice copy to have in the PC and flip through and not have to worry about ruining it.
One to rock and one to stock, right?
Exactly, yeah. Um, so I I'm down to like only needing 4 more issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, and it's some later issues like the last 3, and then one that was kind of a bigger one, which is issue 47, which is the first appearance of Space Usagi. And he had a copy and at a very reasonable price, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then there's the awesome Space Usagi in the back. And this
Nice.
actually has a little Space Usagi mini story in the back of the book. Let's see here. I'm a huge Usagi, well, Ninja Turtle and Usagi fan, so this is kind of like the best of both worlds for me. Um, and then lastly, staying on the Turtles, I found these 3 copies of a series of Ninja Turtles that I'd never heard of. It is Ninja Turtles Adventures Archie, but it's the Year of the Turtle. And like I said, I'd sent this to West Coast Avengers, and he said he'd never seen it before. But it is like Turtles being one of, if not my favorite property, with art by the man, my favorite
Aw.
artist, Ron Lim. Ron Lim on Ninja Turtles.
Dude,
Wow.
what?
And so this is unofficially them fighting what appear to be Power Rangers. But they're not actually the Power Rangers. But I mean, if you could see them, that's what they are. And then another thing that's really cool, the terrible live action movie that they made, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever. They have that scene where they're going down the snow hill and they're riding each other on their shells. Well, this is that in 1996.
That's
So
I think I prefer the 96 version.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So Ron Lim just did the covers to these, but the interiors are really great. And these are really scarce. I found them on eBay, not a lot available, and they go for a pretty decent chunk of change. But my buddy made me a good deal on those. So, and then lastly, we talk about them every show. Our buddies over at Imperial Comics. This is my order from their website. I got a bunch of Howard the Duck filler, All-Star Squadron filler, and DC Comics Presents filler. So just want to prove to everybody I practice what I preach. Imperial Comics is a great person to buy from. So anyways, that's it.
Beautiful. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You wanna share? You got a couple things. I'll say sorry about the technical difficulty there. The Wi-Fi here is not great on its own, and my partner was downloading a game to the Switch.
Oh,
And apparently that caused everything on my end just to start failing. So sorry about that. She's no
all
longer
good.
downloading her game.
Are we allowed to know what game though? Because there's priorities. I mean, if it was like Final Fantasy VI or something like that, totally okay, totally permissible. So
No, it wasn't. It was some like Disney Animal Crossing-esque game. I don't know.
no shade. Animal Crossing. Listen, I mean,
It's something like that. But we're good. Yeah, Eric, do you have a couple of things you would like to show off here for us?
sure, yeah, I could dive in here. It's kind of funny, man. After you do so many of these hauls, you almost kind of get a feel for like how you want to do it. It almost becomes like creating a mixtape to like, do I do too quickly and then cool it off, or do I, like really do a build up here? I think I'm gonna go with the build up. I'm gonna start off with if you know me, I collected comics like from a very young age, but when I made a move from one part of the country to another, my collection stayed behind. So it's been a consistent rebuild for me over the last, God, maybe 10 years at this point. So there's a lot of gems that I missed out on. So when I get them, it's kind of like rebuilding my childhood. So the first thing that I got just here is a new copy of X-Men number 25, the famed, it's not rare. Everyone has this in their collection, except I didn't, so I needed it back in that PC. So I got this new crispy copy here. Got a little ding at the bottom here, but it's perfectly fine for my collection. So I'm digging that. One of the things I forgot to mention amongst all my promotions, I'm going back into full promo mode here, is Ink and Insights has a newsletter that just that we premiered, right? Issue 2 just dropped on Monday morning. So patreon.com/Ink and Insights, totally free newsletter. This one premiered an interview with Mark Russell, plus a whole slew of other things like Jeremy Heiler, a look into his art studio, kind of his thought process and stuff like that. But issue 3, which is going to be in the works and is scheduled for Q3 of this year, premieres Tony McMillan. And this is issue 2 of Tony McMillan's Kickstarter book here, Destroying Angel Lumen, which is actually a sequel series that he has put out here. Let me crack this open so you guys can see a little bit of the artwork.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of Heroes, we met him at Heroes. Totally great dude. We had the pleasure of talking to him on video last year, but very like almost a Frank Miller-esque approach that he's taking on this. It has the feel and vibes of like a Dark Knight Returns kind of thing, but like really hyper kinetic stuff here. So
Oh yeah,
I dig his stuff here. That's super cool. I've been digging indie creators so much more than the big two recently, which kind of leads me into the next thing here, which is like a trifecta of things, really. You had shown off Girl Scouts, the trade paperback here, but we had Jim LaFood who had released his Savage Street Vigilante here, so I had to get his cover. I had to get Ink Pulp representing here with the Sean Crystal cover. And Mike Huddleston, who we don't see enough nowadays. Mike Huddleston does some fantastic work, though, so I had to get his cover as well. Check out Jim LaFood's stuff. It's fantastic. Simpleton, I see you in the chat over there. Simpleton made me one-of-a-kind hardcover of Jim LaFood's LA Inkstains. Greatest thing in my collection. I've already said it on my shows enough here, but if I ran out of my house and it was on fire, that's the thing under my arm that I'm carrying out with me. That's like the numero uno. So
That's awesome.
What else? I got a couple more things here. I had the pleasure of being on Pop Culture Philosophers. We did a movie review for the anime Akira. And Robbie had hit me up and he was just like, dude, have you read the manga of this? You really, really should. It's like one of the greatest things that's going to change your life, just like the movie will change your life. I'm like, no, not at all. And he didn't have to twist my arm too hard, but he kind of did twist my arm. So I had to, this is just volume 1, but I got the huge box set of the entire epic that is Akira. Holy cow, guys. If you haven't read this, it will change your life. I can definitely second the opinion of geniuses, right? It doesn't take much, but like the artwork in here is stunning. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's fantastic. It makes you like long for every comic to be as cool as Akira is. Yes, here it is.
Yeah, he's got his. Yeah,
beautiful.
That's
all right,
awesome.
And I will end with something that just came in. I believe it was Monday. It's either Monday or last Saturday here, but I've been really, really hyped for it. Resurrection Man has just come out from DC Comics, right? Ram V's on it, and Andarke is on artwork. And I knew it was going to be something special. That team already has done fantastic work in things like Blue and Green. Ram V has like just a litany of bangers, like one after another. He's like one of my favorite writers. But Anand he's doing work that goes really unsung and uncredited. So it was only fitting that I got an original piece of artwork here from issue number 1 of Resurrection Man.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. This is gorgeous. And it was kind of interesting too, because he doesn't work on the original, like the traditional 11x17 comic pages. This is nothing more than just like, a simple sketchbook page that you would come out, that bring out of a thing that you could pick up at Michael's, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah. Seeing this up close in person, it's it's a sight to behold. It's not doing it justice just showing it on camera here, but rest assured, I was so stoked to pick this up. So that's my whole.
Wow. Yeah, that did not disappoint.
No. And it's Resurrection Man. I've pulled it. I've got the first 2 issues. Haven't read it, but now I know what I'm going to do right after this. Let's dive right into that because that looks great.
It's going to blow your mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. These guys will put you on to some good stuff. Seriously.
Yeah. No, that's sweet. I guess I got a handful of things to show off. Kind of the little Transformer, the new Solus Prime figure, which I was pretty stoked about.
I saw that today. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she looks great. I just picked that up because I'm just starting to collect a couple more Transformers things. I didn't mention it last week, but I picked up the Black Cat from Marvel Legends, the one for
oh, nice.
The Spider-Man games. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I just needed
I got the Kingpin one on pre-order. I'm waiting patiently.
They look great. They're great figures.
Yes.
Lots of detail. Yeah. I mentioned, I think last week about a Digimon like figure model kit I was building. I finished.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Dope. I'm not sure if you guys are Digimon fellas, but
that's not the Digimon I grew up on.
No kidding, right?
So he's definitely like they definitely like elevated the design, but yeah, he was the one of the characters from like the Digimon movie. I don't know if you guys ever watched that, but yeah, Omnimon. Little Naruto guy picked up from little Kakashi there. Not sure if anyone here watches Naruto or watched Naruto, but I just had to. Love the character. But the thing I've been really stoked about, and we've talked about it over the last few weeks on the show. Something I've been trying to get my hands on was the new Marvel Legends Ronin figure.
Yes.
This has to be one of the most beautiful packaging for a product I've gotten in a very long time. Just absolutely gorgeous. The thing opens up like completely. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit this whole thing.
Holy cow.
Oh my
Like-
god.
Dude.
So the figures were obviously in there, but it has this big, I don't even know, like display piece. Like I don't even
Yeah.
know what you would do with all of this. But just gorgeous. And I'm sure that's why it was so expensive, was just for the box. But yeah, no, the figures are dope.
Oh man.
Dude, come on.
Wired cape with the cloth. Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
Cool guy too. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see that guy as much, but
That's so
yeah.
cool.
no, great set. Very expensive on Canadian Amazon, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I'll take it. So those were all my figures that I picked up over the last week. I felt like a little kid. It felt like Christmas. And then for comics, the big thing was I got these couple issues here. Scotty Young, Kang #1.
Ooh, cool.
Oh, sweet.
Bit of a classic cover. Defenders #1, the Delgado. Another bit of a classic for me.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And then I saw this, so I had to pick it up, obviously. Was the Red Room #1.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because we've talked about it so much, I felt a little silly not having something from Ed Piskor in the collection. So I picked that
Yeah.
up. And then our giveaway sponsor, who I obviously give a lot of money to on a regular basis, messaged me the other day saying she had found something a little special in her collection that she didn't realize she had, but thought I might like it.
Mm.
And it's a print. And I don't have many prints, so I don't know anything about prints. But I saw this and I knew I had to have it, obviously. Was this gorgeous Peach Momoko. I believe it's for Wintermen is the comic, but I don't think the comics ever come out. But this is the artwork for that. I don't know if
Wow.
you can see it too well there, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It is numbered 28 of 100. And I don't know if you can really see there, but it is signed by her.
Wow.
Oh wow, nice.
So
That's a great composition.
Yeah.
yeah. The camera doesn't do it justice, as we know. But I even got the seal of approval from the missus saying it's okay to hang in the main living space because it looks just too damn good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So that was my little haul over the last week.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah, it's always Momoko. It's always
Yeah.
it's always. I'm a simple man. If I see Momoko, I buy Momoko. Yeah,
It works.
gets the job done.
Yeah.
So I know one of our main topics we wanted to talk about today was local comic book shops. I think Doc, you had some opening thoughts for us, maybe.
Yeah. First, I'd just like to say what's up to a few people in the chat. I saw Noah from Broke Boy Comics in here, and Paper Chase, John, saying Akira is on his immediate must-read list. Actually, so yeah, you should definitely
Still
get
worth
on
it.
that, John. You heard it here. So, and then a lot of people here in support of Eric, which is just awesome. We really appreciate you guys hopping in and checking us out.
Yeah, appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, come on
Yeah.
back every Tuesday.
Every
Yep.
Tuesday.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of touched on it a little bit. I think it's safe to say that Battle Beast's probably one of the bigger comics of the year. And my shop didn't order a single copy, and that's kind of like a reoccurring thing. I had said another one that popped in my mind was Transformers #1. Not a single copy was ordered for that series either. So we're like the king of the second prints over here. We always get those. And I would say for the small town that I live in, we have a really healthy amount of people with pull lists. and it's just kind of a thing where, does the fault lie on me, the buyer, for not saying, not telling her, hey, this is coming, I want this? Am I wrong for assuming that this is coming, I should be able to get one? I've tried a lot of different avenues to make sure I get the books I want, and for one reason or another, I wasn't. I was going through the previews, and I was, lining out all the books that I wanted, especially like indie stuff that looked interesting. Um, the problem with that was, so I'd order something, and I might have been the only person that ordered it. So only one copy was coming in. And when that one copy came in, 2, 3 months down the line, maybe I'd forgotten about it. But what would happen is she'd forget who ordered it and put it out on the table with the rest of the books. And so it got gobbled up by somebody else. Um, and so that wasn't working. So I've, tried other ways, but just kind of wanted to get like your guys' perspective. I specifically reached out to you, Eric, because you're reviewing books on a weekly basis, and you're obviously having access to, quite a bit of stuff. You put me on to a lot of independent stuff that I've never heard of, that I never had the opportunity to grab, and then I'm out here trying to scrounge up 5 issues of this, and whatever. So yeah, just wanted to get your guys' opinion. Sloth, I know you have a great LCS, and you do the FOC at the end of every show. So just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I mean, I guess the first thing I would have to say is like shout out to the amazing people, whether it's on YouTube or just in the chats of channels and all this stuff. I wouldn't know the stuff that I know now without people like Fable, Big Herm Collectibles, Nick Comic Culture, Dr. Doom's Fan Club. I know I'm shouting out all my friends, right? But like we developed those friendships through, through chats, right? And like interacting and stuff like that. So we all kind of came up in this new age of comics together, which was really awesome. But I think that comic book stores in general are an incredibly unique experience amongst all of the points of media that we can consume. Right, there was a time and age where Best Buy was filled to the brim with like DVDs and stuff like that. That time is gone now. But even in those times, you went there, you got what you wanted, and you were out the door. Comic book stores are a little bit different. You have to develop a relationship, and you almost have to have social skills to have a conducive interaction with a comic book store. You have to get your pull list, which is like, it's the craziest thing. Like, let's be honest, like the comic book store model shouldn't work. Like, it's crazy to think that people do this and they're just like, yep, this is how I'm going to earn money. It's insanity. But it works because the comic book fans are the ones that are putting their feet through the door every single Wednesday, setting up pull lists. And through that, the comic book store owners know, hey, there's heat behind this book. This is something I need to take some notice of. Maybe order a couple more for the stands because there's maybe a penny to be made here for me as well. It's a real symbiotic relationship that you don't get from anything else. Maybe record stores, but that's like, even that's so much of a prestige kind of thing and a very niche thing, even more niche than comic books. It's just such a unique experience here, and it's changed as time has gone on. Like, I don't know your guys's history necessarily. I know your recent history with collecting and going to the LCS and stuff like that. But I mean, I've been hitting up LCSs since I was like, no joke, 8 to 10 years old. And it's been a consistent part of my life, basically, with, breaks intermittently through there. But it's changed a lot as time has gone on too, because there's been changes for me as well, because it used to be a level of excitement that I would get from finding something new, and like, and this is before the internet, obviously, but like something new on the stands where like, what do you mean Arthur Adams is on an X-Men annual? Like, nobody told me this. Like, I need this in my life right now. That aspect is a little bit gone, but it is cool that, again, the relationship aspect has been built up even more so, because we're so much more in tune with what's going to be coming down the pipeline, what's happening, and I don't know. It's really great. Like I look forward to every single Wednesday going into the shop. The dude sees me, says, Eric, what's up? Drops my comics, like every single thing that I'm gonna need right there on the countertop. We BS about sports. I go check out the stands and see if there's anything on it. You don't get that anywhere else. It's an experience. It's not a transaction, and that's what makes LCSs so incredibly special. And if you're not taking advantage of that, if you don't have the opportunity, it's a bummer, right? Do what you got to do. But if you had the opportunity, you have to be doing that. You have to you really get your feet through the door and talk to these people and I don't know, enrich your life with comics and the people who enjoy comics.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was at my shop the other day, and same thing at my shop. They love me. I'm there every week spending maybe a little too much. They know my budget. They know the wiggle room I got, so they always feed me a couple extra things, and I'm always like, oh, okay, I'll pick it up. But the guy in front of me in the line, they were just giving him the time because this was a customer who clearly isn't able to build a good relationship with the store because of whatever reasons, but basically the guy was special ordering and stuff and then not buying it, right? Like that's
you can't burn the bridge.
That is like number one thing you do not do at a comic book store. They are local businesses. If they order something in for you, you buy it regardless of anything. You buy it. So this guy was like being a bit of a jerk about that stuff, and then the comic book guys were just like, just pay for this stuff. I don't care if you take it home today, but you're paying for it today, and you can come back and pick it up whenever you want to pick it up, because the guy was like, I don't have room in my bag for it. And it's like, that's not a good excuse.
Yeah, come on.
Wow.
I'll give you another bag.
Yeah, exactly. But then as soon as that guy's out of the store, they're like, hey man, like what's going on? Like, sorry you had to see that. Like, like what's up? And it's all good vibes. So really building your relationships with your comic book shop, the fellows who are ladies who are working the counter is like they'll go out of their way for you if you kind of keep going out of your way for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be loyal to your comic book shop, fellas, and but only if they treat you good.
Yeah.
You know your worth. I'm talking to you, Doc. That comic shop, something's wrong over there.
Yeah. I think the buyers maybe just not in tune, and so I certainly am maybe not putting my best foot forward in kind of letting them know what's going to be good. It's one of those things where I personally like, running a business, I feel like that's not my job to like hold her hand. This is her job. But at the same time, like there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. Uh, she couldn't possibly know everything, and couldn't, it's not like she's going home at night and watching YouTube and listening on what people are anticipating and stuff. So there's certainly more steps I could take. I'm just taken so many at this point that I'm like, this is just another thing that's not going to work. And again, this isn't a trash fest on them at all. I do have a very good relationship with them in certain aspects. They know the type of stuff that I like. When they buy collections, I'm one of the first people that gets to look at them. If the collection's not priced yet, they'll oftentimes price it for me on the spot at a very favorable, price for me. So I have perks. I guess it's just being the guy that is like, watching people like Eric and Nick and, Fable and all of his amazing friends, and, hearing about all this stuff that is just amazing reads that I'm missing out on, and just being like, man, like I, never even had a shot at that stuff. Um, I guess it's more forgivable when it's like that indie stuff, that's fine. But this big stuff, Transformers #1, Absolute Batman #1, Battle Beasts, Yeah, I mean, it's really disappointing. So I don't know. I don't know. I just really wanted to kind of like hear different perspectives on it. And yeah, I mean,
Did you? Sorry, Nick. Did you have, or not Nick? Eric, do you have a thought to follow this one up?
Yeah, a little bit. I think you said you took the word out of my mouth, perspective, right? Because your shop didn't have any of the blind bags. You're not. That's not the only shop, right? And I've
mhm,
heard of multiple shops who just weren't hip to it, right? And that's just it's just their thing. But it kind of makes me think of Mile High Comics as well, right? Mile High, like we saw, if you were reading back issues back in the '80s, everybody knows the ad, right? We've all seen
oh
that
yeah,
stupid little beaver on the ad. They stopped doing new comics. This was a couple of years ago. They deal almost exclusively in back issues now, where they will have, if you want to set up a pull list, they will pull comics for you, but they are not putting things on the stands for you. And I feel like, well, COVID just changed a lot of different things about
yeah,
comics, comic collecting, and what shops were willing to deal with and what they didn't want to deal with. And I think Diamond is another big factor on that too.
mhm,
So I don't think that you're alone in having that experience of what your shop did. I think that there's probably a good mix of that in there as well. The flip side of that perspective, though, I went to the shop on Wednesday, my personal shop, and I walked through the door, and and I picked it up. I picked up a blind bag, and they already had a sign right on the stand said limit, 3 per customer, no more. And I didn't read Invincible. It's one of those things I got to circle back around to and experience because everyone tells me it's fantastic. But
Mhm.
I picked it up and I'm like, hey, dude, like, is this, am I gonna dig this? Is this for me? And he's just like, if you liked Invincible, I know you didn't read it, but like, it's a fun beat 'em up. Like, so maybe you'll like it, but you didn't read it, so like, I don't know, maybe.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was just like, okay, so I'll leave it for somebody else. There's already a limit. Someone else is going to find some more enjoyment out of that. So I'm checking out and I'm asking him, well, how is it doing? Is like, is this the mover for you? Because that's awesome. I love when the shop is doing great. And he looks me dead in the eyes and he's like, I sold 150 copies within the first 30 minutes of the store being open.
yeah,
And I'm like, what? Like
Mhm.
150 copies
Yeah.
within 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And it makes me think of another shop. I'm an extraordinarily lucky person. I got like 5 shops within a 30-minute radius of me. So
wow,
every month I make the rounds and I'll hit up a couple and see what they got going on. But it was very similar to gosh, what was the book that came out? Oh, it was the Hush 2. It was the first issue of Hush 2 that came out. Certain shops got to do, well, I mean, I think any shop could have done it, right? But if you participated in a midnight release of the first issue, you got this extraordinary exclusive. And one of the shops that I went to, I was like, full disclosure, I'm not reviewing Hush. I'm not reading Hush. I'm not a big fan of it. It's just not for me. Not to say it's a bad book, but it's not for me. But I went into this shop and I was just like, how's it moving for you? Like, what did you guys do? And he looked at me again, dead eyed. He's just like, we made our week's profit at midnight on Tuesday night selling nothing but Batman. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's I love that. I absolutely love that because that means that there's health and there's like some stability within the realm of comics and comic collecting. Is it speculatory? Sure, but like that's part of the fun too. I'm not a spec guy, but damn, I love that. That gets me so freaking pumped up to know that people are going out there. I remember doing video game releases at midnight, Like I never did a comic book. That's wild to me, but like the fact that people are out there at midnight waiting for a Jim Lee comic book, like what year is it? This is awesome.
yeah. And I know a big thing for my LCS, and why she's so conservative with her ordering is because the amount of back issues that they get stuck with, and
Yeah.
not necessarily uh that portion of the business being profitable for them, because it's kind of a collectible store. They do, gaming, and they sell coins and all this other stuff that makes them
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch more money. But it's been our local comic shop for over 50 years, and that's what it started out as, was a comic and a record store. Um and so, but again, what bums me out about these missed opportunities, like with these bigger books that I've mentioned, is those are the opportunities for them to, there's hype around something like a Battle Beast and a mystery pack and a relaunch of Transformers that goes beyond people like us who are in tune with the comics. There's people that are going to come in from outside of the hobby for these things, and that's where you hook them in. That's where you tell them about a pull list and um
Yeah.
create new collectors and new comic book readers. And so that's kind of what bums me out, is the opportunity for progression at this shop, and the opportunity to where, I don't have to hold her hand and tell her every single thing I want months in advance. Maybe we could get back to like what it was like in the 90s when we would go into this LCS and we didn't have to have a pull list, because everything we we would possibly want was going to be on the counter and and plentiful. um you know
I was going to
but
say
go
it's
ahead.
it's certainly interesting because I haven't really talked about it much, but my real life job is I'm assistant manager at a retail space. And like, so I'm responsible for a lot of our ordering. I get a budget each week, and I get to order whatever I think is best for the store that week. um like, even when I don't know something, like I still like go to Reddit and like check like what's a popular product in this industry right now that I can bring in to get them interested in it. They keep coming back. You know, Battle Beast, having that in your store would have been a great opportunity, like you said, to get people on a pull list. Now they're coming back every month for one book. It starts with one book, but it never ends with one book.
Oh
The
yeah.
first taste is free, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, several episodes back I had talked about the guy whose figure collection I got to check out. I responded, he was selling some figures on Marketplace, and in the background of the photo I could see that this guy appeared to have like a collection room that was incredible. And I'd actually bought comics from him off Marketplace a few years prior, and he was formerly a comic book reader and collector, and was just kind of selling off what he had. But still really into the stuff, just kind of over comics, and hadn't really collected them in like over 10 years. And so a few months back, when I went to buy the figures from him, we met at his house, and I told him, I said, hey, not trying to be a weirdo, but I noticed in the background of one of your photos you appear to have a really sick collection, and if you'd ever be willing to share that, I'd love to see it. I'm a big collector. Well, he invited me in his house. Really cool guy. I'm like, I want to be friends with this guy. um and he actually made me aware of Hush 2 coming out. I didn't even I'm kind of not in tune with the news. So this is why my relationship with the person who orders books is not good, because she's not very good at her job, and I'm not a very good collector, because I don't really typically know what's coming out till it's already out or 5 issues in. But he told me about Hush 2, and I was like, dude, I still have a pull list. I'll snag you one and put it in my file if you want to come down and grab it. And so he did. And he now has a pull list. He's now collecting comics again. It's not just Hush 2 that's on his pull list either. He's got Green Lantern Corps and Green Lantern on there, and like the dude's back in. And again, it's like, again, that opportunity of this big book coming out hooked him back in. And so there's a time when this LCS succeeded. But again, I told my buddy who is eventually gonna take over this LCS, I'm like, dude, if you guys had 200 of those blind bags, they wouldn't have been here on Thursday. You would have sold all of them, guaranteed. And it's just such a huge missed opportunity. It's a bummer. Son of Union Gap, who's in the chat, we share the same LCS, so he he knows the struggle over here. But yeah, maybe me and him can get together and put forth a better effort. And again, yeah, I just this was a great topic to have Eric's insight on, and yeah, you really proved that to be right. So
Did you have any final thoughts there, Eric?
Well, I was crunching numbers here, and like I was thinking of the stats of my own shop, right? If you figure a comic book store gets their comic books at about a quarter of the price, a quarter to a half, depending on how much they're ordering on it. I mean, my shop within a half an hour made $550 just on Battle Beast alone, right? Let alone the other things that are on other people's pull lists. On top of that, I was an incredibly successful half an hour for that shop to keep going, and that's all it takes, right?
yeah,
$3.99 a pop. Generally speaking, let's keep it that way, industry, please. $3.99 a pop at 150, dude. Like there's money to be made here,
yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt. And you also got to be in tune with that too yourself. Order 10 copies, put them in a long box, wait 10 years, forget that they exist, and then come back to them later on. Like another story my LCS owner tells me about. He's just like, when he first started, he was 12 years old, working in a comic book shop, and he kind of grew up in that comic book shop and eventually took over one himself. But way back in the day, he's telling me that, yeah, but the comic book store owner had a long box full of Hulk 181s. He's like, take a couple, like, and my shop owner was like, nah, I don't need that. I don't need that. Don't worry about it. I got my own stuff. But like, dude, that's the foresight you need to have in this. You have to be a little bit of a speculator yourself in owning a shop to run a shop successfully. Like, it seems like a necessity.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So my business partner, he's a longtime collector, about 20 years older than me, retiring soon, and I'll be taking over the business. But when we started working together about 6 years ago, we started sharing our love for comics with each other. We both had already been collecting, but he was a little less knowledgeable than me in terms of kind of the financial aspect, the collectible side of it. He's more just a reader, and he obviously keeps everything that he would buy, but more or less just a reader. And he's really into cosmic, but like I said, back 10, 15, 20 years ago, our LCS just had tons of everything. It was the more ideal LCS of what I would like now. um and so the reason he picked up, or I got him this copy of Battle Beast, is because he actually, in about 2021, I went through his collection with him because he was looking to kind of maybe sell some stuff off, downsize a little bit. And we were going through his collection, and I pulled out, he's a really bad collector. He didn't board anything. Some stuff was bagged, a lot of it wasn't bagged. And so I was going through his box that said random. So it was like, Image and Dark Horse and all this, indie stuff. And I pull out a raw copy of Invincible #1. And my jaw hits the floor. He has no idea what I'm holding in my hand. And then I've told the story before. I'm like, dude, you have some serious money here. We sent it off to get graded. It came back a 9.6, and we sold it for
Whoa.
$1,800.
No
Yeah,
no bag, no board, 9.6.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And the grader note was thumbprints from reading, which he claims he never read it. He was like, dude, back in the day, I just bought everything that was on the table. He's like, but a lot of, some of it maybe didn't interest me, so I maybe just threw it in a box and never read it. He's like, I have no idea what that is. He never heard about the show, had never read the comic, had no idea. He just had bought it because whatever, yeah. So again, it's just kind of like So yeah. So anyways, I pulled this book for him because I'm just like, dude, you should get one. But unfortunately, I think we got the worst copy. um. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. There was one other book I picked up last week that I didn't expect to pick up. I didn't expect to enjoy, and I don't know how much I can really talk about it. But it was written. It's written by Tim Seeley.
Silly,
You know
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Patton Oswalt.
Oh.
Famous. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly the book, and I'm kicking myself for not getting it because everyone is saying it's fantastic.
I didn't know what I was getting into. I just saw Patton Oswalt was on the on the writers, and I was like, okay.
I wonder if wait, there's two books that could be. So okay, hold on. I take it back. Let's see what it is here.
So I'm not gonna. This isn't technically the cover. I can't show you the cover. It's too vulgar.
Okay, now
so,
I know exactly what it is.
But it is Money Shot.
Yeah.
This is a board to cover the cover because it's too vulgar. This is Money Shot Big Bang by Tim Selly and Patton Oswalt. Really didn't know what I was getting into. I enjoyed it. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at
that. Tim Seeley is pretty vulgar.
Yeah.
Did you ever read Local Man?
I didn't read that one.
I don't think. Yeah, you never jumped into that.
No.
I really enjoyed that. So yeah.
But the cover I would like to show really quick because I'm not sure if you guys saw it on your local shelves or at all. But it was the 1 in 5 for this issue. For issue 1 is probably one of the greatest covers I've seen in a very long time. Here it is.
Yeah. That's what I was expecting.
Wow.
That's
so
the great homage.
Yeah, to is it Sex Criminals, I think? Or
yeah, Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah. So this is the cover I will show you guys. I cannot show you the cover I picked up. It's a little too cheeky.
Spicy.
But, yeah, a little too spicy. But yeah, I was the main reason I spotted this book and picked this book up was because of this cover, and I thought it looked too good, so I decided to just pick up a different cover, I guess. But yeah, there we go.
That's great.
I just wanted to share that because I thought that specific cover there was just too funny not to talk about. But God bless my local comic book shop for picking those up.
Awesome.
So we're almost an hour in. I guess we should do our little sponsor bit really quick.
Sure.
After that. But yeah, do you want to talk about Imperial Comics really quick?
Yeah, Imperial Comics, really great seller on multiple platforms. Now he's expanded onto Whatnot, and sounds like he's really killing it over there. And then he's got his nightly story claims, which he's just rocking and rolling on those per usual. And then and it looks like he's still doing his 20% off on the website, which is a really great deal if you're looking to fill in some of your runs. Really user friendly. He's got all the titles broken down into their categories there, as you see, and just every one has consecutive issues. So take advantage of that sale now while you can. And
He's taking advantage of the sale. Like
Easy
there's no time,
to-
no time to
Yeah.
waste.
No time, exactly. No time like the present, middle of the show, middle of the sponsor read to go pick up some books from our good friend Imperial Comics down in Texas, keeping the lights on. I'm just gonna send Doc another link really quick.
Do your thing.
But
you guys had a fantastic conversation with him. Was that just last week, right?
It was just last week we had him on. He was on for about half an hour. He's a busy fella, so he took a little bit of time out of his evening to come talk with us, show us a little bit of the business. I'm not sure if you saw, but he posted a video last week of of his new office space, and it was just like I couldn't believe how many comic books this man has just sitting in as backstock, because it's rooms full.
Isn't that the dream though? Like every time I go to a new LCS, like I think about not just what's like out in the open, but it's like what's that basement look like, right? What is your storage? Because I feel like there's magic there that we never get a hold of.
Oh yeah, and there he is. He's back.
Was it just me that dropped out?
Yeah, just you for a second.
We thought you were buying comics.
That's a likely assumption. That's weird. I don't know what happened.
That's okay, my friend. We covered for you.
Cool. Yeah, buy some comics from Imperial.
Yeah, that's where we can only assume you were for that brief moment.
Yeah, save a couple for us.
Saw something I needed.
Yep, some X-Men. There you go, fresh for the taking. Our other sponsor, someone who I'm just a deep fan of, and I'm going to continue to support every chance I get to. They are on a little eBay page under andho9743. The links will be in the description very soon. They're not there right now, but they will be when you watch this on the replay. She's got tons of great stuff. Lots of modern covers, lots of variants, exclusive ratios, stuff that's hard to find here in Canada. It's hard to find stuff in Canada, especially these days. Nothing's coming here. But yeah, feel free to take a little look at her eBay shop. It's a lovely couple, and I support them every time I get a chance to. Every time I get a little bit of extra spending money, I go over to her little. She runs a little flea market booth, and always has something good for me. And her partner runs their eBay store, and they got something good for you. So go over there, check it out, and we appreciate you guys, our audience, checking out our sponsors. We appreciate our sponsors for sponsoring us. Words coming out of my face. There was a couple comic book news things I wanted to touch on really quick, because I was literally at work today. I saw this announcement and I literally exclaimed with joy over the announcement that we'll be getting a follow-up run to James Stokoe. His Orphan and 5 Beast is finally coming back. Man, did either of you guys read the original series?
I did not, but I saw this cover. It must have been on my IG feed today, and it like stopped me in my tracks. I was like, "Oh, what is this? Like, what? That looks awesome." My son, he was really into Godzilla for a time, and we got him all the James Stokoe Godzilla books that had come out, and the art is like just so good. It's so freaking good, man. So this got me excited.
I don't even remember how or why I started picking up with this series. I think it was just because I loved his art style. I think I came across it in an issue of Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. I think James did a little short story for. And if you guys ever find this original series, so this is the sequel to the original, which was just Orphan and the 5 Beasts. Just such a great, quick little read. I think only 4 or 5 issues in the first run, and I would recommend it because the art is phenomenal. The story is just simple but just crazy cool. Lots of really grotesque, little weird, random, unexpected twists. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. I shouted very happily when I saw this.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I'm sure you guys know there's lots of Superman stuff coming out these days. Another one that they announced was Crypto, the last dog of Krypton. I'm not sure when they announced this series.
Wow.
But Jay Lee posted this great art for issue 1, that a variant cover he's got coming out. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. I really dig his newer style that he's been rocking for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's very approachable, I find, compared to maybe some of the stuff I associate with him in my head.
Yeah.
More recognizable shapes, maybe.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys saw over the last few days, news-wise, that kind of got you guys excited about, or has been just a little bit on the quieter side for you guys?
Hmm. Like I don't know if you guys are the same way as me. Like I'm kind of over seeing any news about Diamond at this point. Like I'm just like I have Diamond burnout like crazy. Um, I'm trying to think if there was anything newsworthy or noteworthy that yes, there was something. In fact, I saw Sleepy Reader 666. If you haven't checked out his stuff on YouTube, make sure you check it out. He's one of the comic OGs. He had posted on Threads that the team behind Ice Cream Man, W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo are going to be doing what I think is a mini series, but a Superman mini series.
Oh,
Yeah, that is like that gets me excited on the same level of like when Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely took over All-Star Superman, because you know it's going to be something a little bit left of center, a little bit different, super exciting. Like I don't know what that's going to be, but if you're a fan of Ice Cream Man and you've been following along with that, wow, like this is going to be this could get really really existential. I don't know, a little bit different than what you would normally get from a Superman book. So that's got me stoked.
That almost be
yeah.
like, I was gonna say, like, I think of like Trad Moore, who did the Doctor Strange stuff. And imagine him just doing like Batman, like
Yeah,
that'd be so cool. I would love it. But yeah, that sounds kind of like in a similar kind of vein, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. That's I'm excited to see what direction they go, because I mean they could just as easily keep it traditional and it would be exciting. But knowing that team, they have something up their sleeve. They have something to say with a character like Superman.
Yeah. Samrock saying definitely interested in anything Crypto the Super Dog, so I'll be picking it up, referring to the Crypto the Last Dog of Krypton. I'm gonna pick that up just because it sounds like a fun one too.
Hell yeah.
Anything you wanted to talk about there, Doc, that maybe got
So I actually saw, and I don't know exactly where I saw this, but it was McFarlane behind it, and they basically said that their their DC line isn't going anywhere with this change of going over to Mattel or whatever it was.
Beautiful.
Sounds like McFarlane is still gonna be doing our our figures, our collectibles. So that got me really excited.
which I said it from day one that there was no official announcement other than Mattel had the ability to make DC stuff again. And then it was all these speculation articles that were like, McFarlane's losing the license altogether. I was
Yeah.
like, it's not how news journalism works, fellas. That's just
It's how clicks work, though. You gotta get
that's
those
true.
clicks.
Exactly.
That's true. But yeah, that's good. I had a feeling there's no way those guys are stopping what they're doing. They're killing it right now. I'm sure they're making a ton of money.
Yeah, no kidding. So we'll see how that goes. I'm interested to see what it is Mattel's going to be doing. But yeah, I still want my McFarlane multiverse figures. So yeah. Other than that, not a whole lot.
Yeah. Are you do you collect a lot of figures at all, Eric? Or
Not a lot. I dabble, but what I find myself doing is that I get really excited over them, and like I'm so happy once they're in my hand, and then I'm like, okay, now you go in the closet, and that's kind of where they stay. But considering the name of the show is Paper and Plastic, I've shown the paper portion of it. I will show a
Yeah.
little plastic because I do have this guy that's always hanging out at my desk here, the Marvel Legends Daredevil here that came in the Hydra 2-pack with the cell shading in here. It's the absolute best Marvel Legends Daredevil that I've seen, so I had to pick this one up. And this guy, you ain't putting Daredevil in a closet. You're just not. He stays out there with me.
That's one right there that I've wanted for a while. Because of the shading. My other Daredevil figure doesn't have that, and it just, I don't know. It's just not ideal for me. So yeah, I need to track that one down eventually.
Yeah, I've come this close to like hitting the buy button for the Mafex Daredevil like a lot of different times, and I'm just like, God, you're so expensive, but you look so good.
Yeah, they are. They're really, really pricey. Yeah. It's been terribly dry over here. My Walmart that I frequent for DC figures hasn't had any, like, the aisle has not changed in like over a month, it feels like. And there's still a few that I really want. I still really want that Jade, and the Doctor Fate. I had ordered in, and they gave me the platinum, which is not the one that I wanted. So, yeah,
Wow.
it's hard out here right now for figures, as I didn't show any off today, which is a bummer.
And
Yeah.
meanwhile, I'm just chilling with all my new toys like it's Christmas
know.
morning.
I know.
Yeah, you got boxes so big you can't even fit them on the screen.
Yeah. I will. The model kit thing is definitely awoken something in me. It's
Ooh.
I like so I built a figure a couple weeks ago just to see if I was like going to be into it. It was like a cheap little clearance section one, and immediately I was like, no, I need to go buy another one. And already I finished this Digimon one the other night, and I'm like, I really want to go spend another like $80 on like some random bunch. Like it's because it just comes in a box of plastic. Like it's so weird, and you clip all their pieces out, and just very like therapeutic. Like
Oh yeah.
I feel like sometimes you read comics and it's almost like you have to be at least somewhat dialed in, somewhat attentive to fully appreciate the story. When you're building stuff like Legos or model kits, it's like brains off, follow the instructions, and you get a sweet little toy out of it. I will say I'm really bad at following instructions. I had to reduce several pieces multiple times. It is not easy taking like these plastic bits apart. I don't know if you can see them at all, but they're very small, and like I broke nails doing that.
Oh wow.
Oh, dude.
So if you guys are getting into models, pay attention at least to the instructions a little bit. Just not a lot, but just enough.
Yeah.
Know when a piece is backwards. But yeah, I guess tomorrow's also Wednesday, which around these parts, new comic book day. What's the big hits for you guys this week?
Let me see what's on my list here.
It's always the trick, ain't it? It's remembering how many things.
Yeah, I don't even remember what's on my list. Is Flash 3 coming out?
I think
I think
Flash 3, yeah, is this week. I believe. Is there a Hush issue this week? I can't remember.
I think so.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. We have Absolute Flash. Are you guys reading Batman and Robin Year One?
Not the moment, no.
Oh, fantastic stuff! That we have a issue 7 is coming out.
Oh man, I'm
Red
way
Coat,
behind.
New Gods.
New Gods, yeah.
Spider-Man and Wolverine. It's got a new. They got
Mhm.
their new team up book that's coming out with Kari Andrews artwork. That's
Mhm.
Kari Andrews, dude. He is so cool. Like that dude's artwork is so freaking slick. Modern day McFarlane right there.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Honestly,
New Gods is my big one for tomorrow. That
Oh,
better
yeah.
be in my file. I swear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, and
man.
then from what I heard, Felipe Andrade does the vast majority of the artwork. You know how they have the kind of like the pitch hitters, like somebody
Yeah.
does like the first couple pages. I think that Evan Cagle does like a couple pages, and he kind of takes some time off, and Felipe Andrade does the majority of the issue. So that's got me
nice.
excited. That's going to be cool.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. It really picked up last issue, so I've been
Yes.
really anxious to jump into it. Same with Absolute Flash. Actually, I finally caught up on all of the Absolute stuff except for Superman, and yeah, Flash. Ooh, look at that! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude.
So was I right about Flash though? Is issue 2 feel a
Yeah.
little bit better? Okay.
Yeah, way better. Oh yeah.
Issue 1 was hard.
Yeah. And I've been a little critical of Absolute Batman. I'm still sticking to it. Doesn't really, a lot of the Absolute stuff feels very different from what we normally get with these characters, whereas I felt like Batman kind of just feels like regular old Batman. And I'm not retracting that statement, but the Mr. Freeze stuff is great. I love that. Yeah, that's been really enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, that's been a turning point for me in my enjoyment for Absolute Batman as well, because I kind of had the same opinion. It's like, like if your mission statement is that, oh, this is Bruce, but he's broke, dude has a transforming dump truck. So like,
Mm.
get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
but I was listening to an interview with Scott Snyder this week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. He was on Comic Pop, and he was talking about the difference between the Bruce Prime, right, in the Prime regular DC universe, is that he's a loner. He has his solo mission. He is the only guy who reluctantly has his family, right? They kind of hold him together, but he is the only person. Where in this universe, what this Bruce is learning is that to be Batman, he needs that family around him, and that family is going to be the kids of Crime Alley. The person that would be Killer Croc, that would be the Riddler, his group of friends. And we're starting to see that actually come into fruition now, which, like, I was like, oh, okay. I think I finally, maybe it took too many issues to get to the point,
Right.
but now you're getting to the point, and it's like, okay, I get you now. I think I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I could not have said that any
Yeah.
better.
Well, that I was the same way because I finally spent the time to catch up on a lot of the Absolute stuff. It's funny, the only one I'm not caught up on is Absolute Wonder Woman now, but I'm up to date on everything else. I know. I'm saving the best for last, guys. Okay.
Yeah, that's really
Okay.
really
Right.
shameful because you got me on Wonder Woman and I'm totally caught up on it now, which I'm so proud of myself for.
So good.
It is.
So
It really is. That's one I can't put down.
Last issue that recently came out of Superman, Absolute Superman, with the Brainiac stuff. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to read that.
Yes.
Just that's what that series needed.
It's bonkers. It is the wildest issue of any Superman that I've read in a long time.
Yeah, it just breathed a rush of fresh air into that series because I was already enjoying it. I'd kind of was a little hesitant at first, came back around to it, but that issue I just got so stoked.
Yes.
We get Mr. Freeze over in Batman, and then it's like Brainiac just was like, I'm sorry, but I got a backstory for you guys. So yeah, that was really, really cool. Absolute stuff's just been doing really well. I don't know. Are you guys? I know Doc's not caught up on Ultimate Wolverine, but I finally am starting to catch up on Ultimate Wolverine. Are you pretty close to the current issue on that one there, Eric?
Oh God, yeah. In fact, this last issue, it's been really cool. I've enjoyed every single issue. I'm a big fan of Chris Condon as a writer. If you're not reading that Texas Blood, go read it. It's hopefully, I believe it's just on pause right now, but I think they did a very solid 20-issue run that was outstanding. I've been lauding that series since the very first issue. So when I saw him getting ready to do Wolverine, I was like, oh, I think there's some opportunity. This is going to be pretty cool, man. Not the newest issue, but the one previous was this great homage love letter to Barry Windsor Smith and the Weapon X storyline. It takes its differences for sure, and it takes its liberties, which was done fantastically. That last issue, though, dude, it's exactly what the series needed. It ramps up at just the right time, in just the right way, and pushes the plot forward so much that I'm like, dude, I want the next issue in my hands right now. I'm like, Chris, please tell me what you're doing. Give me all of the scripts.
And we can't go without saying the artwork is impeccable. And I'm biased because I love Moon Knight, and the artist who did a lot of the recent Moon Knight stuff is now doing Ultimate Wolverine. Suits it perfectly. And don't worry, Doc, I've got a couple issues. They're setting aside here for you. You just gotta.
We gotta get these packages out that we've been talking about for 6 months now.
It's nice to know you guys do the same thing I do, where you're like, oh, I got something for you, and then it sits there for 6 months probably.
Yeah.
You're just no, I promise though, I will get to it.
I've got this guy's Holy Grail book sitting here, and I've had it for at least 6 months.
That was
Yeah.
like episode 2. I remember you talking about this.
And I had it way before that too. So yeah, we're not
Did-
doing too good over here.
I was gonna say, didn't you get that for me around Christmas? Like it
Yeah.
was before Christmas, I think.
Yeah, before. Yeah.
That's too funny. What else is coming out this week? I feel like there was something else that was really, really jumped out to me. Zatanna, Moon Knight, Redcoat.
Mm.
Who?
Ultimates is really good. I don't know if you guys are Dan Slott fans, but he's got his new Superman series that he's kicking off too. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Is that Superman Unlimited? Is that this week?
It is. Yep.
Yeah, that's this week. Yeah.
You know what's really cool about that Ninja Turtle series I got is look who the writer is.
There we go. Dan Slott.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. It's I love how many writers and artists have been doing this for so long that are still just doing good. You know, like I know there's a couple of them who maybe are doing not so good, but there's a lot of folks who just like, I mean, like, you know, the fact McFarlane and Jim Lee and those guys are still kicking like 30 years later. Like, I can't imagine being in that industry for that long, right? Like,
think of dudes like Mark Waid, right? Mark Waid has gone through basically like 3 ages of comic books as a creator and still feels fresh and new. Whereas you had like dudes like Kurt Busiek, who I love. Like, I think that his Avengers run is like one of the best, right? But you know, I don't see him doing work, and I don't think that his writing style necessarily fits what current comics need either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing creators grow and evolve and kind of stay in the game.
Yeah, hitting those milestones like Ninja Turtles with their 40. What they just celebrated 40 years, I think. And yeah, it's just really crazy.
Have you guys had the opportunity to meet Kevin Eastman? Like, I know he makes the rounds and does a lot of conventions. So if you haven't, you gotta meet him. Like, peach of a human being, so nice, and so like he commits to the bit too. He is like, you like turtles? I freaking love turtles. Let's be friends.
Yeah. He makes his way out here every couple of years. I've waited in his line twice. I don't know how I've heard that it's not as bad in other parts of the country, but it's several hours every time he makes his way out here. So I've done it twice, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
It's just you miss out on way too much of the con to do that, and so I've met him a couple times, and he's just everything you would want him to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I've only ever met Chip. That's my guy.
He's still on my list. He's on my bucket list. So
he is a Canadian treasure, easily.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched his Todd Diamond shorts that he did for the Canadian newspaper that he worked for before comics?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. After the show, you guys need to, and everyone in the chat too, after the show, YouTube Todd Diamond Finance Sense.
Okay.
And then just say thank you. Just say thank you, because you're going to enjoy it. It's hilarious.
That's too. I'm going to check this out. But I see
definitely.
This is another series I'm pulling. I haven't had a chance to actually read yet, but Bug War looks like we got another sweet James Stoke. Is this Stokey or Stokey?
I say Stokey, but then again, I've been wrong before.
I don't know how to pronounce even my name half the time. But but we got a great cover from him coming up here. And then Samrock was saying that he met Kevin Eastman. He was really nice. I got him to sign my last run on #1, sent it off to CGC, got it back 9.8.
There we go. Good job, Sam.
Very nice.
Wasn't 9.8 of that signed must go for a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Simpleton, damn it, Chip was just in my neck of the woods. Oh man.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, you can go. Maybe just go find him. Go find out wherever he's going next. Go surprise him. Sorry, I'm just kind of working through my FOC here. Speaking of
Yeah,
do your thing.
Of having a handy comic book shop. Do you guys think this is a thing that all comic book shops should have? Is this ability just to pre-order your pull list, like just totally curate it and then just show up, or do you think that's like takes a little bit of the fun out of it?
I'm of two mind frames on that point because my shop has never missed a book for me. So like, and they're great. They're a little bit old school. They're always solid, but it takes away because like I always have to like do the inconvenience of shooting him an email and being like, add this and this and drop this, right? So it's like there's that little bit of like, I wish I could self-serve. But in that same vein, if I ever need to drop a title and it's like, if I say, hey, I want to drop this and it's a Tuesday night and the book comes out tomorrow, that it's already out of my pull list. He's not like, oh, well, I already had to pre-order 3 issues for you because it was on there. He's just like, no, you dropped it. You're done. You're good. So like, I wouldn't get that same service if I was pre-ordering everything, like straight up, like doing it FOC style. So I don't know.
I know Doc would love it.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the comics place just north of me where I order a lot of my missed stuff from, they have a similar system. As a matter of fact, I think they created a system that they've marketed out to LCSs all over the country.
Oh, wow.
And so I think I could do this. My thing is I would just, if I'm able to get the issues I need at my LCS, I want to support them first. Even though I don't, speak too highly of them. I still want to support them. I still want to get everything that I can from them and then resort to just trying to track down the other stuff, later in the day or the next day. And then just the thing with shipping, when I order from the LCS up north, gosh, I ordered Wednesday and I didn't get my package from them until like yesterday. So it's just kind of like, by then Eric's already reviewed all the books and I gotta not watch his content because it's gonna spoil the book for me. And it's just like, I really wish I could get this stuff on the day that it comes out.
Yeah, no, it's and it's funny because I sit here and I'm clicking through and I'm picking everything I want. When the day comes, I still end up picking up probably 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 more things.
Oh yeah,
because I'm just, there's things I always see that I don't, just goes by my radar almost, which is kind of funny considering we, sit here every week going through this and I'm, going and clicking through everything and there's still stuff that, especially stuff like indie stuff that I don't know anything about, and then you like hear the hype of like the week of being like, oh, everyone go check out The Moon is Following Us. And I'm like, what is that? Like, it's kind of funny how that seems to happen a lot more now, but I like it. I appreciate it that there's a nice variety of stuff that kind of slips under the radar, comes out, but it makes it tough to get sometimes, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's how I usually treat my variant game. Like for me as a collector, I'm I say it all the time, cover A all day. That's kind of like I'm my OCT will not let me not have a cover A. So then like my variant hunting is always just like, I'm just gonna go to the shop. If they got something cool, I'll pick it up. Then it's not on my pull, but I'll check it out and see what's going on.
It's funny because it's almost, I'm the reverse. It's like
most people, I feel like they're like that. Yeah.
For me, getting an A cover is like not like, if it's a series I don't like, sometimes I just won't get it, and that's just the end of it. Like I'm just like, well, I didn't get the variant. I guess that's the end of it, and I'm terrible that way. But
and think about it though, how much more rational is it to be like, oh my god, that cover looks amazing, I definitely need to get that? Because there has been so many where I'm like, I hate cover A. This looks like garbage. But I need to get it because of the way that I collect. And like, how stupid is that? Like, I'm a ridiculous collector.
Yeah. Yeah, Chemdog said Exquisite Corpses was fun, and I watched Nick did a review on that, and that's the latest indie that I now have to go track down.
That was another one I picked up because I just pre-order it on the when we were doing my FOCs on the show, because I was like, oh, it's a James cover. I love a good James Stokey, whatever, however you pronounce his last name. Sorry, James, if you're ever watching.
Jamie S.
Yeah, Mr. James S. Yeah, saw his cover, had to pick it up. So good read. That's my understanding.
Yeah, man, I had a weird experience with that book. I have a real love-hate relationship with Tynan's books. Issue 1, like always, like just gets its hooks in me. I'm like, oh my god, this has the potential to be so amazing. And by issue 3, I'm like, damn it, James, you did it again to me. Why do you keep doing this? Department of Truth, I've definitely stuck around with, but this one felt a little bit different. It didn't have that hook, and it didn't have that amazing premise where I'm like, oh my god. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, maybe this means it's the inverse. Then maybe it's going to grow on me as time goes on. So
interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes.
It's funny too. Did you read Nice House on the Lake?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the book I was referencing. I was like, this is gonna be so good, and it's kind of good. Wait, who's that person?
Yeah.
There's a painter and a what? There's now aliens, and now we have a new group of people. It was so hard, but it was a beautiful book. It was just so hard.
Yeah, it was. That was a series that I was like, I read the first first three, and then I was like, I'm gonna wait until the whole thing is done, and I'm just gonna read it back to back to back, because I can't keep up with this month to month and know what's going on, because
I think that's the wise decision.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I guess there's a couple cool things coming out next week. If anyone wants to pre-order that Crypto Last Dog of Krypton, I guess it was on the FOC for this week. So if you guys are looking to pre-order it, I suggest you contact your local comic book shop and just start giving them your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, don't be stupid. Give them your money.
It's your civic duty.
Yeah. But we're at an hour and a half. Was there anything else you guys wanted to chat about before we wrap it up for the night?
I just wanted to thank Eric for coming on. I reached out to him pretty last minute, like yesterday. I'd kind of been sitting on the idea of this show from last Wednesday when the whole Battle Beast thing kind of happened, and I just was thinking about this topic, and I started discussing it with, I kind of was teasing it to Sloth right away, and then got busy, and we've really enjoyed having guests on. It really keeps the show flowing. And Eric, you're somebody I've wanted to have on for some time now, and this just felt like a good topic. I always enjoy and appreciate your insights in all things comics. So yeah, thanks for making some time for us and coming on. And it definitely won't be the last time, but thanks for making it work.
Yeah, of course. It was this has been a blast. I've been looking forward to it all day. And like you guys, I'm sure you know a little bit, but like when you guys were talking about it, me and Fable were in the chat and we're like, I'm gonna be the first one. No, I'm gonna be the first one. So when the offer was made and you're like, it's a little bit last minute, I'm like, no. I have to have bragging rights. So Fable, I see you.
Yeah.
Your move now.
Yeah, there's so many people I want to have on. I have a lot of great friends in this community, and a lot of them have their own channels, and a lot of them are people I look up to and strive to be as I don't know what the word is, but you guys just are very good at this, and that's what I'm aiming for. It's just kind of finding those shows and topics that fit the person. I probably want to have Fable on, like, maybe a more figure heavy show, because he's
For sure.
just killing it with the figures, and him
wealth of knowledge, dude.
Yeah,
wealth of knowledge.
Him and Sloth are gonna become best friends for their love of Transformers. So
yes, for real.
yeah, but Fable is kind of where it all started for me, where I found you and Stu and Nick and everybody else. It all came from his Friday night show, which I think used to be on Saturdays before, right?
Uh, no, from back in the IG days, I don't even remember what day that was. I think it was
Yeah,
kind of one of those like, hey, when do you want to go live? Let's go live, right? But
sure.
yeah, for the long time, it's been on Fridays.
Okay, yeah. I don't. I've been watching him for a long time, but I forget. There's so much of it. But
Dude, yeah, I
yeah.
understand.
I'm definitely happy we got you some bragging rights, though. Hopefully he doesn't hate me.
I'm sure he's going to be okay. But yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys so much here. For everyone in the chat too, if you don't know something that's going on in the comic book community, the Comic Book Community Awards are going to be kicking off next month. And your homework assignment is absolutely to vote for Paper and Plastic for Best New Show. It opens up June 7th. The expectation is that
right.
everyone puts their vote in because there's no better new show than this one right here. So get your votes in.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That
Thank you
means
so
a lot.
much.
Yeah.
And Samrock, just a little added bonus. As someone who watches weekly, great show tonight. Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Sam.
Yeah.
And yeah, we owe a great thanks to Eric, 9PanelGrid, for joining us tonight. And make sure you guys check out his stuff. You can find me and Doc on Instagram. You guys can subscribe to the channel. We're live every Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. You want to do a quick last second plug here, Nick or Eric?
I will plug Nick Comic Culture. Go make sure to check out his fantastic comic book reviews. Check me out, 9PanelGrid everywhere. That's 9PanelGrid, almost everywhere except for IG, where you got to spell out that gosh darn number, NINE panel grid. Dropping new comic reviews every single Sunday morning. New show, again, The Cover Story, going over news and variant covers and releases every Tuesday morning. And Incan Insights every single Wednesday night with my homie Stu from Dr. Doom's fan club. So sub up, check us out, and hang out in the chat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, that's it for us, and we'll be back next week for some more Paper and Plastic. All right, guys.
See you guys.
ya.